within each area is a key question, taken directly from the subject matter presented within the related TV episode. Upon answering each question, a mysterious video vision takes over the game, creating intrigue and desire to explore further and dig deeper. In addition, as questions are answered, each player's behavior is being tracked. This record is used later in the game to further tailor the experience towards each fan's perspective and opinion. Within each area, visual icons are also available to click on, encouraging fans to interact and consume more and more content from the TV show. Some icons trigger embedded videos which display teaser content from the TV episodes, and also serve to prime players with knowledge and context about the area in question they're exploring.
So this was an example of a project that really tried to be documentary in a lot of ways. It was really an augmentation of the television series Documentary. Contained a lot of fact-based media. However, it was pretty entertainment-focused. Although the series interviewed lots of subject matter experts, and so you had a lot of talking heads, there were, because it was sort of an entertainment-focused TV documentary, I think there may have been like dramatic reenactments of things, and some definitely supplementary visuals to really make it kind of a compelling and sexy documentary TV series. It's actually a really good series, and this interactive, I think, is still online. I think if you go to iProphecy.net, next up, I'd like to talk about an organization in San Francisco called the Bay Area Video Coalition that for the past 3 years has run a collaborative effort between social justice documentary makers and interactive media makers. So I've worked with this organization as a mentor for the last 3 years, interfacing with essentially film producers who are looking to explore game space and understand what the ramifications are of bringing heritage media into interactive spaces like video games. There's lots of other mentors who go down there as well, people from like Google and Adobe, and all to bring them kind of an a la carte menu of, here's some options you might consider if you want to bring your film into interactive. And my forte being video games, I try to blow their minds as much as possible by introducing them to possibilities in mobile gaming and web-based gaming, things that are possible and probable for them to engage in. I'll show you one of the projects that I worked on. This was in 2008.
And I'm here with my partners working on a project that is titled In the Balance, the death penalty game. It's an interactive project based on a documentary that we've been working on that explores various issues related to criminal justice, such as the death penalty, the appeals process, and essentially the United States and how unique it is to the rest of the world in the way it incarcerates a huge number of its population. We want to, make a project that, brings visibility to a population, and that's both an inmate population as well as all the people that affects. So they say that once somebody's incarcerated, that their family very much becomes incarcerated as well. So, this touches millions.
So Ashley is from a collective, a small company called Take Action Games in the US that was responsible for the Darfur is Dying serious game, if anyone knows that one. It highlighted some of the socio-political struggles in Darfur, and I'll get into this in a bit, but sort of like the idea of, it was that game Darfur is Dying, did it oversimplify the issue, or did it, really give people a good understanding of what was going on, or did it just sort of gloss it over? And you can kind of see how that might be an issue with Ashley's latest project, which is In the Balance. To do a game based on the US criminal justice system, what will players of the game actually take away from that? What will they be able to really learn? What will they actually be able to do? One of the mandates of Take Action Games is that the players actually perform productive action in real life. In Darfur is Dying, at one point you were urged to, and I think you had to do it to proceed in the game, email your congressperson in the US. It was a project that was sponsored by MTV University, an organization I know nothing about, but it doesn't sound like it has very good credentials. Anyhow, I also worked earlier this year on a project, and this is, more heavy-duty subject matter. This one is human sex trafficking. And working on these projects, by the way, is a great way for me, who really is not that politically aware, to find out some really interesting and shocking things about the real world. Like, I think the stat is that there's minimum 7 million slaves. It might be something crazy like 27 million. But anyway, there are more slaves today than there were during the peak of what we commonly think of as the era of slavery. So, of modern, like relatively modern slavery. So, usually it's young people who are coerced or tricked or threatened into sexual slavery, and once they're in, it's really hard for them to get out. So how do you do a game based on this that's going to communicate, some of the themes and like, what are you going to learn out of this game? This was a game concept that I developed with the team behind the documentary, and it was aimed at teens to show them ways that kids become enslaved and how what happens when you're enslaved and what the potential ways to get out of it are. And it was a game that was basically like a point-and-click adventure game, and I hate to say adventure game because it sounds kind of blasphemous considering the subject matter. But the idea is that through interactive situations, you're given certain moral choices and certain strategic choices about whether you're going to stay enslaved, if you're going to try to escape, if you're going to try to bring other people with you while you escape. And so at certain points, you're given the opportunity to help other kids escape slavery. So with this game, it's more of an information-raising exercise, and was done in an association with a documentary called Sands of Silence.